Good evening and welcome to Arizona Illustrated for Thursday, the 20th of December 2012. I'm Tony Paniagua. Many experts say it is never a good idea to give an animal as a present to someone who is not prepared for the responsibilities. But if you have the time, the inclination, and the resources to save the life of a cat or a dog, there are always plenty of options. Next, Caitlin Harrington speaks to a guest from Pima Animal Care Center about its holiday adoption specials and other services.
Joining me in the studio now is Kim Janes. He is the manager at the Pima Animal Care Center, and his dog Cletus, who is up for adoption. Thank you both for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having us over today.
Kim, we have you here to talk about the holiday adoption special that the care clinic is currently holding. Can you talk to us about what makes this holiday season special for adoptions?
Well, we know that families are looking for pets and probably looking for gifts, and this is a great way to combine the two at this time of year as a way to thank their maker for life. They can save a life at one of the shelters, and Cletus is up for adoption along with about 100 other dogs and 60 other cats at the Animal Care Center. They're at 4000 North Silver Bell, and we just are grateful for those that think of pets at the shelters first when they choose a pet to adopt.
Tell us a little bit about Cletus, the dog that you brought with you today.
Love to. Cletus came to us about 6 weeks ago. His owner had some problems, spent enough time with him, so they felt it just wasn't right, and they brought him to the shelter to see if he could find another home that be able to provide more time. He's about 15 months old. He's an Australian Labrador mix. A lot of energy, loves people, and loves other pets around him. And it took about 3 minutes to train him how to sit here without bribing him with a treat. So he's a quick learner.
Tell us, you do have a wide variety of animals at the shelter. You said you have over 100 dogs at the moment that are up for adoption. What kind of animals do you have there? What's the range?
Well, we have all sizes, colors, and breeds when it comes to dogs and cats. We even have a three-legged dog out there if you're interested in having one that's even more special than the regular special dog that we have there. So you can find about anything you want and anytime you want to come out there. In addition, there's opportunities for buying gift certificates now this time of year. If now's not the time to pick your pet, don't recommend buying a pet for somebody else without them picking it, and the pet picking that owner too, quite frankly. But they can certainly get a gift certificate this time of year as well. So we got about anything anyone would want.
And tell me, we talked previously to this interview about what the benefit is of going to a shelter, and you said they have a really unique kind of personality for shelter animals. Is that right?
They seem to have. We've had so many testimonials about shelter pets being the best pet that an owner's ever had after having other types of pets from other sources. And animals that experience a shelter life have gained some ability to be a little more patient, a little more loving than others, I think.
For people who may already have pets and they're worried about introducing a new pet into their family already that they have, you do some testing, is that right?
We do temperament testing, but we also offer the prospective owner a chance to get to know their pet, and that they can even bring their animals that are in their house to the Animal Care Center and spend some time with them in a special area where the current pets and the prospective new pet get a chance to know each other.
Kim, can you tell us what this holiday adoption special entails, what people are getting, and what the discount is?
Absolutely. The current price to adopt a pet between now and the end of the year, the 31st of January, is $25. And for dogs, that includes their $15 license, their alteration, a microchip, the rabies vaccination fee, and the initial set of vaccinations they received already at the shelter. And for cats, it's the alteration and microchip and the rabies vaccination. So it's quite a deal for a wonderful lifetime friend.
Can you talk to us about the importance of not only getting a license for your animal, but alteration or spay and neuter for the animal as well?
Well, we know that science has told us that alteration leads to a healthier life in general for cats and dogs. And so we strongly encourage that and support that. And in addition, it prevents unwanted pets from being born. It tends to make animals be a little calmer, tends to help them stay home more often. And so the spay-neuter thing is very important, we feel. And secondly, for the licensing, it's really an indication that you've got your dog vaccinated for rabies. And you need cats vaccinated for rabies as well, because that's a pretty deadly disease. We don't realize sometimes how deadly rabies can be to our families and if contracted. So we strongly encourage all pets be vaccinated for rabies. And with the dogs, it's a requirement, but it's just a good practice to get them licensed as well, because it helps us find you if we ever need to, if we found your pet away from home.
Kim, I know that your website for the Pima Animal Care Center does have some of the dogs for adoption listed on there so people can check them out online. Can you tell our audience what that website is if they want to take a look at them before they head down to the shelter?
You bet. We have a couple of services on our website at www.pima.gov/animalcare. And we have a found site which shows any pet that we've picked up recently. If you've lost your dog or cat, you can look on there. We have our adoption page that shows all of the pets that are available for adoption right now. And we also have a lost page or a lost capability where people can call and say they've lost their pet, and we'll take that and record that and try and match it up with our found information, or if someone calls later that they have found a pet, and try and get them home to them.
Kim, thank you so much for joining me and bringing Cletus into the studio today.
Well, thank you for having us. And again, we're so grateful for these opportunities and wish everyone a happy holiday.
Most children will be on vacation until the new year, so you may want to encourage them to head outdoors and learn about something interesting in the process. Saguaro National Park's Tucson Mountain District west of the city is offering a program you may want to consider. It is called Junior Ranger Wilderness Exploration Day Camp, and we have two guests to tell us more. Chip Littlefield is a park ranger and environmental education coordinator, and John Duncan is the lead education volunteer. Thanks for being here.
Welcome.
So let's begin with you. A little bit about the history about this day camp that is going to be held next week.
The camp started many years ago, and we used to do it in the summertime. But we all realize the challenges of getting kids outdoors in the summertime. So about 7 or 8 years ago, we moved it to the winter so the kids can spend the whole 8 or 9 hours outdoors exploring Saguaro National Park.
And it takes place over 3 days?
It does.
Okay, and then John, you are a volunteer at the park. If you could tell me a little bit about your history, why you decided to become a volunteer over there.
I retired from 41 years of middle school teaching. When I retired, I knew I had to do something. I couldn't just sit on the porch in a rocking chair. So made a list of the priorities. I wanted to work with children, continue to work with children. I wanted to get out of snow and ice. I'm from Vermont. And I wanted to learn something new. And so when I came to the desert, everything was new. I had to learn everything about the cultural history, the natural resources, all the plants, all the animals, all the native groups, and they gave me 2 weeks to do it. And at the end of 2 weeks, there were the kids.
All right, and then the day camp will include various activities like a night hike, a campfire, exploring campus, map reading, and so on. So let's talk a little bit about some of those activities. You brought some props here. What would you like to show us, John?
Well, we've got from the simple to the complex. We have simple magnets that the children, especially on this day camp, love to go into the wash and pick up the hematite. We have GPS receivers that'll enable the kids to pinpoint certain places. It'll help them with their hiking. We can also determine where specific natural resources and cultural resources exist, and we can even pinpoint the location of specific saguaros. We have clinometers, which enable the kids to measure saguaros, and we even have a radio telemetry program where we take a transmitter, put it on the back of a desert tortoise, let them take off, and then using an antenna system like this with a receiver, the kids can track the tortoises. Great fun, and we also keep track of the health and well-being of our natural resources.
Okay, excellent. And then Chip, so who qualifies for this program and how can people get involved?
Any child living in Tucson can participate in the program. We certainly encourage children from underserved communities. We do provide scholarships for children who might have that need, but we're community-wide and we want to make sure that we reach into all areas of the city.
All right, so it's 3 days, December 27th, 28th, 29th, and it's $35 for the 3 days?
Yes, all 3 days together, right.
So why do you think this is important as somebody who is outdoors a lot, and we keep hearing more about kids who are never outdoors and are becoming obese? Why do you think that this is important to get kids out there?
Well, when I grew up as a kid, I didn't have technology, so I spent my whole time playing. And today, kids are challenged with busy schedules, parents have busy schedules, and it's increasingly more difficult to get outside and just to play. So with a national park next to a major urban population, it's just a perfect combination for kids to put down the technology and to come on out and just explore and check their environment and reconnect with nature.
And it seems like the good thing about this, John, is that they get to combine the technology with the outdoors at the same time.
Absolutely, but the funniest thing is, the technology is fun and important, but what they want to do is be outside. They want to be out in the sunshine, they want to explore, they want to discover, and that's the thing they want to do. Most of this camp is hiking and enjoying the outdoors.
How much satisfaction do you get out of it personally? Because you are a volunteer, you've retired, you don't have to be doing this.
Right, and I don't get paid for it, but just being outdoors myself, which I enjoy. I'm a runner and a kayaker and a biker, so I love being outside. Being out here in this beautiful Arizona sunshine is wonderful for me, but it's fulfilling to work with children too, and to see them open their eyes and to begin to realize that being outside is where it's at.
All right, Chip, and if anybody is interested in this camp or another one that's coming up, you said sometime in February?
Yes, Rover Rodeo Break in February.
All right, so who do they contact? Who do they get in touch with?
Contact me. I send out the forms, chat with the parents so they know how the kids will be cared for, what we'll be doing, answer any logistical questions, and we can sign up tomorrow.
All right, so call Saguaro National Park West?
Yes.
Okay, well, Chip Littlefield and John Duncan, thank you very much for being here, and good luck.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
All right. Tonight, we wrap up our special set of stories with World War II veterans. Our next guest describes the war in the Pacific and gives us an eyewitness account of the Japanese surrender on the deck of his ship. Michael Chihak has that interview.
Pearl Harbor was attacked on December 7th, 1941. Do you remember it? What do you remember about
Well,
it?
I remember very vividly what happened that particular day. About 10 o'clock or somewhere around there, my mother come and called me, and she said, "Come and listen to this." And I go in, and they had an old Philco radio back at that time. And so I go in and listen to the radio, and it starts telling about the Japanese coming in and bombing Pearl Harbor, and with their subs, their baby subs coming into the harbor. And those bombers and all hit our battleships and our cruisers. And of course they sank the Arizona, and a lot of the crew members went down with the Arizona when it was sunk. And they had damaged our fleet very badly at that time.
So when you heard the news of the attack on the radio, how did you feel about that? How did you and your family react to that?
We thought that was horrible, of course, because I had some very good friends that were Japanese, and they went to school with me, and there was a lot of Japanese citizens. And I thought they should never have put them in those concentration camps, or not concentration camps, but
The internment camps.
internment camps that they did, because they were American citizens, and they were just like I or anyone else. And they sat right next to us and in classes and so on. I could even mention the names of some of them, but very close friends.
And how old were you when that happened?
I was 17.
17. So you weren't old enough to go into the military yet.
But when I graduated about 5 months later, in May, I volunteered. I wasn't a draftee. I volunteered to go into the military. And this friend of mine that I told you about, Bob McWright, we went over to the Marine base, enlistment base in Buckeye, Arizona, to enlist. And they took him. They didn't take me because I had one eye that wasn't 20/20. So I went in the Navy instead.
Roberts was on the USS Portland, a heavy cruiser that was part of the U.S. Pacific Fleet. He witnessed one part of the Japanese surrender on the Portland's deck.
Tarawa was the first battle that we actually had. And at Tarawa, we lost a lot of our people. I think there's probably close to 10,000 of our men that went ashore. You know, we had bombarded. We thought we'd done a good job. But we come to find that those Japanese were in caves and those kind of things, and they were protected to a large extent.
Now, the men lost there were primarily Marines coming off your ships,
yes,
right?
yes. We had troop carriers out there, and yes.
So that island by island combat is what slowly but surely brought
Moved
us
us.
to the end of the war
Yes.
and victory, correct?
Yes. Well, we went into the Philippines, and we started bombarding Lady Gulf and Bataan. And I guess you know that Bataan is where they had those troop marches that our prisoners, and they had taken about 80,000, I guess, of our people that was in the army and so on over there, and they had them on those death marches. On July the 31st of 45, the Indianapolis had dropped off the atomic bombs and the materials and all to put them together and finish putting them together to be used on Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And so the Japanese wouldn't have surrendered. It was such a disgrace for them or their Army personnel or Navy to surrender that it was bad for the whole family for the rest of their lives.
Now, you talked about the surrender, the Japanese surrender, and you actually were very close to a part of that. Yes. The main surrender occurred in Tokyo Bay on the USS Missouri.
That's right, with MacArthur.
With MacArthur. Mm-hmm. But there was also a surrender on your ship, was there not?
Yes, and you never hear about that, hardly ever. But anyway, we were in Lady Gulf, and they gave us the privilege, I guess you call it a privilege, of taking the surrender of the Japanese at Truck Harbor. That was their Pearl Harbor, where they repaired all of their ships, and their ships would be laying at anchor there, getting ready to go on another expedition. And we had a ship photographer aboard my ship, and we took pictures, or he took pictures, I should say, of that group coming aboard, and the Japanese surrender party come aboard, and little general, and the admiral, the governor of all those islands, and their staff. There was 7 of them, and they came aboard, and the pictures show them coming aboard, and then shows them going off to our officers' quarters to go over the surrender papers. And I imagine the papers had to be in Japanese because I doubt if they could read English. And it shows another picture of them standing at attention in there, and also shows a Marine standing at the door to keep law and order, or keep everything under control. Then they come back out on our well deck in the center of our ship, where our hangars were for our observation planes and everything. The well deck was one deck below the upper deck, and they sit down at the table, and it's a black tablecloth on the table, just like the one you see on the Missouri up in Tokyo Harbor, and it's the same time, September the 2nd, and I believe in 1945, and I believe it was in at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm not positive of that, but anyway, the whole ship was at quarters, and my division station, S Division, for supply was at quarters on the well deck, and right there where they were signing the papers. We could look over and watch them sign the papers.
Even in a time of budget cuts and other difficulties for many performing arts groups, one local organization is celebrating its 15th anniversary with a special winter solstice event. The members of the Susie Dance Company incorporate a range of styles in their performances, but they are best known for aerial dance. Next, you'll find out more about how it's done. Mark McLemore has that interview.
And joining me now to discuss the future of Susie Dance Company and its history, we've got one of the co-founders of that company. Her name is Nanette Robinson. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me in this short notice.
Well, what have you seen happen with Zuzi over the last 15 years? What now does the Zuzi Dance Company actually encompass?
Well, when we started, we were a company of about 6 dancers, and part of our mission was to have a community, a collaborative dance company, so that not only professionals were able to dance on stage, but also anyone who wanted to dance, who wanted to express themselves, could have an opportunity to do that. And with Zuzi, that was our mission. Our mission was to open it up to anyone who wanted to dance and still have the professional component, the artistry of that, and to believe that it's more than just steps, that dance is about making connection, finding meaning and renewal in our lives, and that is part of our mission. And I feel that it's been very important, and so did the other co-founder, who was Nancy Mellon, who was with us for about 4 years. And it continues to thrive and grow. We now have a youth company of middle schoolers, and we also have an apprentice company of teenagers who aspire to be in the professional company, which is, by the way, very diverse in age range. So.
Well, tell us why aerial dance became such an important part of what Zuzi does.
Well, it's so much fun to fly. Do you remember when you were a kid? And maybe you spun a lot, maybe around 4 years old, or you always were on the swings. Well, when you get on the trap as an adult for the first time, you experience that sense of freedom. And when I first tried it, I was 38 years old. And I've been dancing for almost 20 years. And when I did aerial dance with my teacher at that time, it was the most exhilarating feeling. And it also is a way to bring people together that don't necessarily, maybe they're fearful about dancing or expressing themselves, but once you fly, you kind of lose that inhibition. And it's also really good for empowering for young girls and boys. It's about kind of taking leadership, really focusing, and also just having fun, expressing yourselves in the air. And so what we began to do, Nancy and I, is we began to develop a few classes for all ages. We started with kind of mid-range, like middle school. But then we started to build more adult classes. And I've had women as old as 75 in my class, and I've had children as young as 2.
Well, people who are interested today can take part and find you online, but tell us about these winter solstice celebrations that you're doing.
So that was actually the foundation of our first performance, was a way to celebrate this time of year, and not so much about the commercial end of it, but really about more of the deeper, where a lot of those holidays came from more of a traditional, kind of just nature-based. And so we thought that winter solstice was a great way to celebrate. And our first performance was not at our home now, it was at another space. And it incorporated a lot of community, as well as the budding company.
We'll have links for our viewers to find more information on the website. Thank you for coming in and having this brief chat about Zuzi Dance Company.
Thank you.
Arizona and the rest of the southwestern United States are known around the world for their unique culture, amazing architecture, and impressive natural wonders. And Damian Klinko is very familiar with these traits that enrich our lives in this state. Klinko is the president of the Tucson Historic Preservation Foundation, and he joins us with a weekly segment about some of the treasures you can find in this region.
Tucked just off the northwest corner of Tanque Verde and Sabino Canyon roads is one of Tucson's most distinctive post-World War II mid-century modern neighborhoods. Indian Ridge, listed on the National Register of Historic Places, boasts cul-de-sacs of low-slung contemporary ranch houses with expressive angular roof lines, burnt adobe and red brick construction punctuated by expanses of glass. In 1950, Robert Lusk founded the Tucson-based Lusk Corporation and under his direction, the company became the 5th largest home builder in the nation. The development projects and Lusk Home helped shape and articulate the character of the expanding Tucson community, starting in the early 1950s, through the corporation's ultimate collapse in 1966. The Indian Ridge Historic District is not only one of the Lusk Corporation's outstanding neighborhoods, but its phased development created a representative arc of Lusk design and an excellent sampling of popular architectural trends during the Eisenhower-Kennedy eras, and in the Tucson housing market. The Lusk Corporation was the only builder in the country to receive the National Association of Home Builder Award of Merit for 5 consecutive years, starting in 1954, 4 of which were awarded for Tucson-based development projects. Lusk drew on the charm and historic allure of nearby University Indian ruins and the pre-existing named Indian Ruin Road for both the development name and inspiration for the names of new streets within the subdivisions. New roads were named Taos Place, Acoma Street, Kiva Place, and Kachina Court. The company produced slick promotional material that used graphic Southwestern motifs and evocative language to lure prospective buyers. Originally, 4 distinctive models, each with 4 elevations, were available. The award-winning model homes were decorated by the Lusk Corporation color coordinator and furnished by local interior designers Goebel Decorators. Clients were assured that no 2 homes on any street would be identical. During the development period of Indian Ridge, the head of the Lusk Corporation's design department was Arthur Rader from 1954 to 1957, followed by Ray Kruger, 1958 to 1961. These 2 men shaped the evolving character of Indian Ridge through the multiple subdivisions, shifting economic climate, design trends, and changing corporate climate of the Lusk Corporation and its ambitious goals, creating a new subset of the ranch house tradition, modern contemporary Sonoran ranch. Take a drive through the meandering streets of this distinctively modern neighborhood and get a feel for what Tucson was like in the 1950s.
You can get more news and information on our website, azpm.org. To comment on any story you saw tonight, click on it online and go to the bottom. We can also be reached via Facebook and Twitter. Coming up tomorrow night, Jim Ninsel will join us with the Arizona Illustrated Political Roundtable, where he and his guests will discuss some of the timely topics in our community and state. I'm Tony Paniagua. From all of us at Arizona Public Media, have a great night.